You are Locked On Astros Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Houston on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
You know what? That might not have been the prettiest baseball game you have ever watched, but that's okay because all that matters tonight is that the Houston Astros found their way once again back into the win column against the Boston Red Sox. And at this point in the season, I think it is pretty safe to say this. The Astros are the Red Sox daddy. Yainer Diaz coming through in the clutch tonight for the Astros, the walk-off home run. A very nice way to do this Locked On Astros postcast. Thank you and hello. Welcome to. I said all those words wrong. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us tonight. I am your host, Michael Connor. Appreciate you guys. You're new to the channel tonight. You can, of course, hit the subscribe button and join us every single game the Astros play. When they wrap up, we do this. I can tell you this right now. I have the Mariners and Dodgers game up on my screen here, and they just flashed the Astros score across the Mariners broadcast. And I'm sure that they had some snippy little comments to say, you know what, must stink to be them. Doesn't stink to be an Astros fan because the Astros continue to absolutely roll. Now, tonight was not perfect. We'll get through a lot of it. We'll talk about Kikuchi settling back down, battling back for this. And I do want to get a little bit of it off my chest to end the show tonight about the replay system, really the Jordan play more than anything else. Again, a lot to get to tonight. We will absolutely get to it all. This episode of the Locked On Astros Postcast is brought to you by PrizePicks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use code all lowercase LockedOnMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. So, serious question here. When am I, as an Astros fan, and you as an Astros fan, when are we supposed to? Are we finally at the stage where we're supposed to say thank you to Dusty Baker for not playing Yainer Diaz more last year? Have we reached that point yet? I just got to get an answer. Remember, because he said that we'd thank him later. Is this where we thank him when he hits a walk-off home run tonight? When he's been the Astros' best hitter so far in the month of August? And really, you go back, I think probably what? It's got to be a little bit more than a month now that he's been doing this. But awesome moment for him. The guy just continues to absolutely rake. Now, look, he's not playing the world's best first base over there. He's got a lot of work to do when it comes to his fielding ability at first base. And his, everybody just always assumes when you put a guy at first base, it's going to be the easiest thing in the world. It's just not. Of course, with Yainer, the number one thing that you are worried about, the number one thing that I'm worried about, that the Astros are worried about with him is his bat. Because his bat, when he is going, is absolutely special. He can get to any baseball. He can hit it hard all over the yard. And for a guy that has not hit the ball out of the – now, he did get robbed of a home run yesterday, a 3-run jack yesterday. Did hit one finally later in the game, but should have had two. He has unbelievable power. And way more power than the, 14 home runs that he now has on the season. Think about this, too. We are about to witness an Astros season that gets completed here at some point where it's not going to be Yordan Alvarez and all. I shouldn't say it's a lock, but the way it's pacing, it won't be Yordan Alvarez that leads this team in runs driven in. It's going to be Yainer Diaz. He's the first player on the team 70 mark this year. 70 runs batted in mark. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. He has been so good. And there was a portion of this season, of course, for Yainer where he was not so good. I used to go back and pull up his splits as the season has moved along here. In that first month of April, he hit 266, 3 home runs, 11 runs batted in. That was an okay month. You can live with that. It was really May where it went down the tubes. He hit 200 in May with no home runs and 10 runs batted in the entire month. Then you go to June, 363 in that month with 4 home runs, 18 runs batted in. July, 337, 3 home runs, 18 runs batted in. So far in August, .313, 4 home runs, 11 runs batted in. He's been their best hitter for 3 months. Jordan got hot. Jordan's put up numbers as well. And Jordan's been great, too. I don't want to discount Jordan. Can you imagine being a Red Sox fan tonight? Jordan had another 3-hit night against them. I will say, I don't like Jordan in the 2-hole. I've said it before. I want Jordan in the 3. I want Yainer in the 4. I want Pena back in the 2. Quit screwing around with everything here. And then eventually when Bregman comes back, hopefully you slide him back to the 2 spot in the order. But for a game tonight that honestly never really felt like the Astros should win, look what happens. They find their way to the win column once again. What great baseball teams do, correct? They bided their time. They waited for that bullpen to be out there on the mound, and they are now a season high. It's going to be that way every time they keep winning until they, drop back a little bit. But a season high, 12 games over 500 now at 68 and 56. I've kind of tongue in cheek talked about it recently. They're in play. They're in play to be a team that gets a bye in the first round of the postseason, which you should absolutely want them to have. They want it because it gives you the ability to rest your pitching. They had it last year. They had it the year before they had it as well. You want to get the bye. You don't want to play the wild card round. You don't want to set up your staff not having who you want in game 1 in an ALDS. At this moment, they are 4 back in the loss column of Cleveland and in the win column for that matter, for the second best record in the American League. The second best division record because the Orioles and Yankees are tied at 73 wins apiece. But it's about the division record, and the Astros have a chance. They have a chance. They will get a chance at Cleveland, too, at the end of the season. There's so much baseball still to play. Is everything perfect? No, of course not. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. I mean, look, the Astros out-hit the Red Sox tonight by a ton. The final hit totals was 13-7. The Astros left 9 men on base and were 3 for 11 with runners in scoring position. They should have tied that game earlier, taking the lead maybe earlier. They also struck out 13 times in the baseball game tonight. Far too much. They only walked twice. Not enough. So the at-bat quality wasn't unbelievable tonight. The offense wasn't unbelievable tonight. They got their fair share of hits, of course, but they only had, of those 13 hits, 2 of them go for extra bases. Jordan's double, and then Yainer's walk-off home run there. So there's always something in a baseball game that, yes, you can find that wasn't exactly what you're looking for every single time that you go out there. But the one thing that matters, of course, that win column, right? And guess what they did? They found their way back to the win column again in a season-high 12 games over 500. I said this last week, and I'm just going to keep repeating it until they go into a funk, which, knock on some wood, they don't go into a funk at any point soon. This team is officially as dangerous as it gets. And if they get their health situation right, sure would be nice if Alex Bregman played in this series. I'm a little bit worried about it. I'm just going to say it. The Astros have a history of disguising injuries and not telling us enough. I'm concerned about it. The Kyle Tucker thing, I saw he was hopping like a bunny or something today out there on the field. Watch out, Ray Gun. He's coming for your skit there, or your dance at the break dance at the Olympics. But if they can get those guys back into the lineup at some point, really start to lengthen this thing out, it all gets back to the number one thing that's given them the ability to win these baseball games consistently lately. They've pitched well enough. They weren't perfect tonight by any means. We're not perfect. I mean, look, Taylor Scott's come in. He's leaked a little bit of oil of late. It's almost expected for a guy that hasn't pitched this much probably in his career. At some point, you're going to have bad games. You're going to have a bad – just like hitters. He might be going through that. But they gave him a chance to win the baseball game. And the guy that really gave him a chance again to win the baseball game again tonight was Yusei Kikuchi. We have to discuss him, his start. He's off to a great start as an Astro. It'd be nice if he could get through 6 innings at some point. We'll talk about him after this brief, quick message right here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. Have you played PrizePicks yet? Well, what are you waiting for? It's America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into 1,000. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on PrizePicks for a deposit match up to $100. PrizePicks, run your game. Locked On Astros Postcast on a Monday night, and we are rolling once again. Thank you guys for stopping by and watching the show. I'm your host, Michael Connor. If you're new to our channel tonight, please hit that subscribe button. Come back, watch us again tomorrow night when we'll do this at the Astros and Red Sox game 2 of this series. Astros with a chance to get to 5-0 against Boston tomorrow night in this series. And by the way, if you help us tonight, I think we're getting closer, people. We keep rolling along. Seriously, this channel has grown like so quickly. I'm truly honored that you guys clicked the subscribe button. We got 1,700 in range tonight. You guys hit that button. I think we can get there. Click that subscribe button. Also, when you are looking for this podcast on the audio form, just search for Locked On Astros. Anywhere that you get your podcast, you will get this show and the Locked On Astros show, which when you're done with this, you go watch those guys, Brett and Eric, doing their show, of course, the Locked On Astros podcast every single day. They do a great job. Go subscribe to their YouTube page as well to check out what they have going on their shows. Of course, talking about a win tonight and the Astros being as red hot as it gets. Keeping an eye on the American League West. I do have the game up in front of me here, the Dodgers and the Mariners. It is still scoreless in the going to the top half of the 5th inning there at Dodger Stadium. Both teams with just 1 hit at the recording of this show. I'll give you another update later on. I should say recording. When we do this live, it'll be recorded later for those of you listening later. But I'll give you another update before we get out of here on that game. Hopefully, Dodgers offense can figure out something, and the Astros can continue to push their American League West lead even further. That's wild to think. They win tonight. The Dodgers win tonight because the Astros already won. If the Dodgers win that baseball game, you're talking about an Astros team that on the 19th of August, after towards the end of June being down 10 games, could be 5 games up. Unbelievable turnaround. Absolutely unbelievable turnaround. And that does not happen if the starting pitching does not do its thing. Look, tonight, again, was Yusei Kikuchi his best in this start since he's been with the Astros? No. I felt like he kind of struggled a little bit with command early, clearly. I mean, he gave up. Clearly, getting into baseball games is not his easiest thing to do sometimes. We've seen that with pitchers. Verlander at times in the past has had those issues. Kikuchi clearly has a little bit of an issue getting into the game. Gets himself into some trouble, gives up a 2-run jack there. Had a little bit more traffic maybe tonight than he probably would have loved to have. Did give up 6 hits. I think I talked about that the other day, just how low his hit totals have been in all the games that he's pitched so far this year. A total of 7 men reached base tonight against Kikuchi to the 6 hits plus 1 walk, which is a good number. Did strike out 7 once again. But I really thought that he just battled through a lot tonight, which is a very, encouraging thing for a guy that had such a tough start to his season overall with the Toronto Blue Jays and really did not put up any kind of good-looking numbers, with that baseball team when he was there, to a spot where he's been here at the Astros for, or is it 3 or 4 starts now? I just got to pull up my thing. It is 4 starts. 4 starts now, 22 1/3 innings. He's allowed just 6 earned runs, by the way, because the defense tonight did not help him. Good God, was that game sloppy. 8 total runs across the plate when he's been in, but 6 earned. Giving up just 16 hits. And this is a guy that when he's in Toronto this year had a whip at 1.34. He's got a whip at 1.03 right now. Average against him with Toronto this season, now 22 starts versus 4. It can change quickly. But average against him in those 22 starts with Toronto was 272. Now with the Astros, 190. And he's 2-0 overall with a 2.42 ERA. There's no other way to spin it. So far, 4 starts in, he has been exactly what they needed. He has solidified the rotation. He has gotten, I say deep-ish because he's getting to the spot where he's, going out there and at least working into the 6th inning. So you can always live with that. You would prefer him get through 6. His last couple of starts now, he's not been helped by his defense to get deeper into these games. And really the defense tonight, just atrocious. 4 errors. This is one of the things this franchise has been their calling cards forever, is just how good they are defensively and how clean of baseball games they typically play. They play the exact opposite. Good news for the Astros tonight. The Red Sox played just as sloppy of a baseball game. Honestly, it felt like a case of the Mondays out there for both of these teams in this baseball game. It was just so ugly for large portions of this. And I tweeted it out earlier. The Red Sox going to definitely be on the Tom Amansky video, the next one. Well, so are the Astros based off tonight. Tom Amansky is going to look at this game and say, I really got to put together a new video. I think Tom Amansky's still alive, super old, but he's probably somewhere. Let's just assume Tom Amansky's still alive out there. He's watching this game and going, I need to cut this thing up, and I need to go do a bunch of tutorial videos on the defense being played here in this one. Get Fred McGriff. Was Fred McGriff on those videos too? Get him out of retirement, out of the Hall of Fame, and let's go ahead and make a new video based off of Astros and Red Sox tonight. Probably not making a pitching video off of Kikuchi tonight. It again wasn't his most sharp outing that he's had, but he was good. I think he gave his team a chance to win, right? That's exactly what you ask for the starters every time that they go out. And overall, the staff gave you a chance to go win the baseball game. Yes, Taylor Scott came in and did not do his job out of the bullpen tonight necessarily. But when you give up just 4 runs in a baseball game, you feel like you should have a chance at the end of the night walking out of there with a victory. And being able to tie things up late, of course, Dubon's hit absolutely massive. We did not even give him any credit at all. A big-time clutch hit from Mauricio Dubon. And then Yainer Diaz, with the biggest swing of the game, gives the Astros the ability to go out there and keep the winning ways going. Dropping, of course, the one game in the White Sox series. They continue their dominance against Boston with this win tonight. Hi, by the way, if you're new to this channel tonight, there's a bunch of you that keep coming into the show tonight. Appreciate you guys. If you are new, hit that subscribe button. Come back and join us again tomorrow night. We'll do this after game 2 of this 3-game series. Tomorrow will be Ronel Blanco versus Nick Pivetta. We'll talk about that in just a couple of seconds. Because, kind of a good game, kind of a big game tomorrow for the Astros. They can secure a series win. They can also put themselves 5-0 against the Red Sox with a win tomorrow night. Let's talk about something that I just kind of wanted to get off my chest a little bit. I guess the umpiring in general, the replay system tonight. I don't know what was going on, but let's talk about it after this brief message here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, we have something a little different for you. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel any time. Just visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to download America's #1 sportsbook. Locked On Astros Postcast on a Monday night after a win, as good as it gets. I can't lie to you guys. Thank you for joining us again, by the way. If you're new to the channel, I'm your host, Michael Connor. Hit that subscribe button and join us every night. I am enjoying this run of being able to do these shows with not talking about losing very often. Isn't it nice? Honestly, what is that? Is that 11 of 12 now? We've barely done lost shows in the last 2 weeks. We're getting spoiled again, people. That's a good kind of spoiled. That's my kind of spoiled. Fun kind of spoiled. That's what's happening. Even on a night where the baseball wasn't good, right? Where it was ugly. And you know what? Doesn't matter. They could win ugly every night as long as they win every night. And if they win every night, guess what I'm going to be? A very happy man. I'm going to walk away from this show here in about 5 minutes. And I'm going to have a big old grin on my face, and I'm going to go get in bed with my wife. And we're going to pass out, and I'm going to have a happy sleep tonight. I'll probably dream about Yainer Diaz hitting a home run. I don't know. I don't really dream about baseball, but maybe I will tonight. Who knows? I'm also dreaming about the day where, and this isn't just a baseball problem. You see this in all the sports, but baseball loves to make things, of course, very baseball-ish, which, it's never perfect. The replay system. Now, the Yainer played later in the game. Didn't think there was anything to that. But earlier in the game, where Jordan ran home in the fourth on the chopper to third, which, you could make the argument, of course, that Jordan shouldn't be running home there on that. He should get back to third base and see what happens. But the play is made home by Devers, makes a high throw, catcher goes down, and naked eye, and again, this isn't even the Astros, homer in me, because I do love the Houston Astros like all of you, and I want them to win. I'm watching that play, and the umpire calls it safe, and my thought was, that's the right call. They show all the angles that they have on the TV broadcast, and I never felt like on any of them you could definitively say, yeah, he's out here, to where you can change the call on the field. I didn't get it. I really didn't. And I don't know how you can have a system in place where you do that, and then you can watch that play and say, yeah, for sure, he was out. His foot looked like it got in there to me. Thank goodness the Astros didn't lose by a run tonight, right? Well, I guess he did score later on, but whatever. You know what I'm saying. It was one of the few things in the game outside of the sloppy defense left and right that absolutely just kind of drove me nuts for a second. Why can't we have a defined, clear, good system on anything? Nothing's ever going to be perfect. I understand that. But that play specifically, just, I don't know. Made me wonder why we even have the replay. I didn't even think it was definitive that he was safe. I just think that it wasn't definitive that he was out. And you call it safe. I didn't see anything there that said, you got to overturn this. In fact, I thought the whole thing was inconclusive. I can't say that word. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I have been up since 3:45 this morning. We had a super early wake-up call today, and your boy is about to hit the sheets hard. Guess what, though? Tomorrow night, I feel like I still have the energy, even though I've, been up that long. You guys tell me. Tomorrow night, we'll do this again as the Astros and the Red Sox do it at Minute Maid Park. You, by the way, can continue to join us. We're 9 away, people. Hit that subscribe button. 9 away from 1,700. I would greatly appreciate it. We're on our climb to 2,000 subscribers in our Astros community, in our Houston sports community. Because if you have not been to this channel before, as I like to remind everyone, this channel is not just Astros. We're in the thick of it right now with Astros. We'll be in the thick of it for a while with them, of course, all the way through the month of September and then into October because they're going to win the American League West, which, again, let me check on the Dodgers-Mariners, still scoreless, top of the sixth there in that one. But this channel will also do Rockets, Texans, Cougs football, and some select Cougs basketball games throughout the year. Probably a lot of Big 12 play, I'd imagine, when we get to that. But check out the podcast for all those shows, whether it's Locked on Texans, Locked on Rockets, Locked on Cougs as well. Parker over there, Jackson, they all do a wonderful job with their shows. Check out their podcast and join us for all those throughout the season as well. I thank you guys again for joining me tonight. Enjoy the rest of your Monday night. We will talk tomorrow night after Astros and Red Sox right here on the Locked On Astros Postcast.